Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. Oh Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Now the 8th Adhyaya akṣharaṁ yoga of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and in our previous two readings in fact, Arjuna had raised several questions to Sri Krishna in these two shlokas. Whatever Sri Krishna told at the end of the Jnana Vijnana Yoga, the 7th chapter, pertaining to those two verses, the 29th and the 30th verse of the Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Now, Arjuna doesn't want to take Sri Krishna's words at its face value, no, unless and until he has understood the meaning of the teaching, unless and until he has grasped what exactly Sri Krishna wants me to learn. He is not going to leave his guru. He is not going to leave his teacher, friend, philosopher, guide just like that. So, to what Sri Krishna has had told, having those devotees, those who take refuge in me, jara marana mokshaya mama shritya yatantiye, those who take refuge in me, those who surrender to me, having freed from the fears of old age and death, having got rid of that botheration of the decay and the death, te tu brahma vittadviduhu krutsnam adhyatmam karma-sanjñitaḥ. They realize in full that Brahman, and they realize the Adhyatma and also the karma. They realize, those who take refuge in me. And then in the 30th shloka he had said, Sadi bhūtadi daivam mam sadi yajñam chaye viduhu prayana kale pichamam te vidur yukta chetasaha. Those people with their intelligence, their mind, their mental makeup, very active, absolutely alert, yukta chetasaha, even at the deathbed. Even at the deathbed, they realize me in the adhibhuta. They realize me in the adhidaiva, and they realize me in the adhyatma. They realize it is me everywhere. Those a few fortunate ones who totally surrender to me, they realize me in totality. Fine. Now Sri Krishna spoke this. Arjuna is not very much convinced. He has not understood the import of Sri Krishna's words fully, and therefore, like a obedient student, he wants to clarify all the doubts, and therefore, in the first and second verse of the akṣharaṁ yoga, Arjuna asks Sri Krishna, Kim tad Brahma, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim karma purushottama, oh best among the men. What is that Brahman? What is that Adhyatma? What is that karma that you are talking about? Adhibhutam cha kim proktam adhidaivam kim uchyate. And what is it called as adhidaiva? And what is it called as, what is it known as the adhidaiva, adhibhuta and adhidaiva? Please explain to me. And then in the second verse he said, Adhyatnya katham kotra dehesmin madhusudana prayana kale cha katham yajnyaha asi niyatma bhihi. Oh, Madhusudana, oh slayer of that demon Madhu, please tell me, what is this Adhyatma and how is it related to this body? Adhyatma katham kaha atra dehesmin. Atra dehesmin, here in this body, where is this Adhyatma? Where is this the governing principle of the sacrifice? Prayana kale cha katham jneyah. And how is it that, and you told that at the last moment of the deathbed also, they realize me to be the adhibhuta, adhidaiva, adhyatma. How does it happen that at the time of death, these jnanis, these fortunate ones, these liberated ones, they know that you are the ultimate controller of everything. How is it that this happens? A fair question by Arjuna to Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna, the Jagat Guru, the most gracious of the teachers the universe can ever get. Now he is going to address the queries raised by Arjuna. In the third shloka that we are going to read today, Sri Krishna is referring to addressing the three of Arjuna's queries. Sri Bhagavān uvācha. Akṣharaṁ brahma paramaṁ svabhāvo dhyātmam uchyate bhūta-bhāvodbhava-karo visargaḥ karma-sanjñitaḥ. Akṣharaṁ brahma. Akṣharaṁ is imperishable. Brahma is the supreme reality, the Brahman. And that is what this Adhyaya is also named as. This bears the name of Akṣhara Brahma Yoga, the knowledge of, the yoga of the imperishable Brahma, the Akṣhara Brahma. Akṣharaṁ brahmam paramaṁ svabhāvo adhyatmam uchyate. The imperishable Brahman is the supreme. There is nothing beyond that. That is the last word in the on the spiritual journey. That is the ultimate, the Akṣhara Brahma Paramam. And svabhāvah Adhyatmam uchyate. Adhyatma, what is Adhyatma? Now Sri Krishna he has addressed what is Brahma. Brahma is the ultimate supreme. Then what is the Adhyatma? Adhyatma is the self-knowledge. Adhyatma is the self-knowledge, and this is what we get from contemplation on the Lord. So the one Lord who dwells in this body, the knowledge of that, the indweller, the Jivatman being a part of Paramatman, that knowledge, that inquiry, that understanding, that is called as Adhyatma. The word is split as Adhyatma, Atmam, Adhyatmam, the indweller principle, and that is nothing but part of the Lord. The Jivatman is nothing but just a minuscule part of that Paramatma which comes away from the Paramatman in search for enjoying this Prakriti, with the intention of enjoying this Prakriti. The Paramatman himself, manifests as Jivatman, taking a body, dwelling inside the body, and attaining that knowledge of I am part of that. That is Adhyatma. As simple as that. So, Brahma, of course, is the supreme reality. There is nothing beyond Brahman. Adhyatma is the knowledge of this Brahman, part of that, dwelling in this limited frame, of the body of the embodied being. It may be a human body, it may be animal body, it may be plant body, it may be a material body. bhūta-bhāvodbhava-karo visargaḥ karma-sanjñitaḥ. Bhūta-bhava is, Bhagavad is that which causes the origin of beings. Bhūta-bhava, bhūta is beings, the life form. Bhūta-bhava-udbhava-karo, that which brings up this life principle into existence. Bhūta-bhava-udbhava-karo visargaḥ karma-sanjñitaḥ. The offering, visarga is offering. The offering which results in origination of this life form is called as karma. So Sri Krishna has addressed three of the queries of Arjuna. What is Brahma? What is Adhyatma? What is karma? Now let us get into the details and into the explanation of Sri Krishna's answer. The Blessed Lord said, the imperishable is Brahman. akṣharaṁ Brahma, paramaṁ, the supreme. The imperishable is Brahman, the supreme reality, nothing beyond that. That is the last word. Nothing exists beyond Brahman. That is the first answer. Its dwelling in the individual body is called Adhyatma. Understanding of this imperishable Brahman, understanding of this Akṣhara Brahman, dwelling inside this body is called as Adhyatma. Svabhāvo, Adhyatma uchyate. The nature of this Brahman dwelling in this body is called Adhyatma. Second question explained, answered. The offering which causes the origin of beings, that visarga, which results in bhūta-bhāvodbhava-karo, karma-sanjñitaḥ, is called as karma. So the third portion of Arjuna's 7 questions, third question of Arjuna's 7 question is addressed in this third shloka of the Akṣhara Brahma Yoga, the first utterance of Sri Krishna in this 8th adhyaya. The absolute reality is Brahman. That is the ultimate. That is the absolute reality. It is supremely above time, space and causation. It is beyond any of those clutches of illusion that Sri Krishna has talked about. It is beyond sattva, rajas, tamas. It is beyond creation, preservation, destruction. It is beyond all those manipulations that the Lord does to bring this creation into effect. Brahman is beyond that. Brahman is not, it doesn't come under any of those influences of the Yoga Maya. No 3 gunas, no process of creation, preservation, destruction, and no connection with the time, space and causation also. It is far, far above these planes, these levels. It is only the creation which comes under the influence of sattva, rajas, tamas, which comes under the influence of janma, jara, marana, which comes under the influence of time, space, causation. So it is beyond all that. Brahman is beyond all that. The senses and intellect cannot gain access to it. It is only the creation which gains access to the senses. That which has name and form. That which comes under the fold of time, space and causation. That which comes under the space of birth, sustenance, destruction. That which comes under the jurisdiction of the gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Only those things can be perceived by the senses and the intellect. Brahman cannot. Brahman is only to be experienced. That is, you cannot say Brahman is fair, Brahman is dark, Brahman is mighty, some Brahman is very small, tiny. No. None of these adjectives, none of these explanations, they can be given to Brahman. As the screen is the background of the moving pictures in a cinematograph, again the same example appears now and then, that the cinema, the movie going on the screen, only the screen is the reality. The movies, the films, they keep on changing. The scenes keep on changing. So, Brahman is the only reality. Brahman is the substratum, basis and background of the panorama of the universe. The changes that take place in the universe do not affect Brahman. The screen may show tragic scene, comic scene, action scene, fights and this and that, but the screen is not affected at all by whichever is being projected on it. The screen is aloof of all those things which are appearing on it. It is ever itself, the being behind the becoming of the universe. That is the ultimate reality. It is therefore called akṣharaṁ. It is imperishable. It doesn't have beginning, it doesn't have sustaining power, it doesn't have end. It is just there. It is just there to be experienced, and when one experiences it, that is the ultimate realization. That is the vijnana. The intrinsic merit or property of a thing is called svabhāvo. The internal, the svabhāvo that we call of any being, which is that is the intrinsic property. Sweetness is the svabhāvo of sugar. That kadvahat is the svabhāvo of karela, of bitter gourd. Bitterness is the svabhāvo, inherent nature of the bitter gourd. So, svabhāvo of the sun is to put forth the beams of light. That radiance, that is the svabhāvo of sun. Similarly, svabhāvo of Brahman is to appear as a multitudinous conscious beings called the Dhyātmam. That is the svabhāvo of Brahman. Brahman appears like sweetness appears in sugar, like bitterness appears in the bitter gourd, like that radiance appears in the sun glaze, like fire appears in the fire, the heat. Likewise, these Dhyātmans, it appears as the multitudes of the Brahman. This assumption of the role of Dhyātman is called Adhyatma. And when a person starts realizing that it is the Brahman which has taken up this form of Dhyātman and is dwelling in the body, that knowledge, that thinking, that process, that understanding, it becomes Adhyatma. Adhyatma. That Atma is dwelling in me. And this Atma is nothing but, it is just a projection of the Brahman, this Dhyātman. This Dhyātman is the svabhāvo of the Brahman. Part of it is in me. Part of it is in other beings, other human beings, other animal beings, other plant beings. That same Brahman is dwelling in the bodies of all these different peoples, and then comes that this understanding that the one which is dwelling inside is nothing but the svabhāvo of the Brahman. It is the same Brahman. As the sweetness appears in sugar, this one who is dwelling in me is the Brahman. That is Adhyatma. And then talking about the karma. What is it that makes these beings to take form? Whatever that sacrificial action, whatever that offering that is provided, that is called as karma. The vibration or the act of becoming that is taking place in the universe is karma. Whatever is happening in the universe, in the form of creating these beings, creating these bhūta-bhāvo, that is karma. Here, this word karma is used in a particular sense. The action that is immediate cause of man having come into existence and of his making progress in life is here technically called as karma. It is not just taking birth per se is karma. Whatever the reason behind a man's taking birth, yes, that is karma. What goes before the birth of a child, that is karma. But technically speaking, what Sri Krishna is mentioning here, the future course of action that the being takes up, the progress from level 0 to 10 on the path of realization, that is also karma. Whatever goes in creating a being and further evolution of that being is karma. The action that is the immediate cause of man having come into existence and of his making progress in life is here technically called as karma. Whatever work promotes the welfare of man is karma. The Purva Mimamsa, one of the 6 schools of systems of Hindu philosophy, they claim that karma is the only all-powerful agency for man's origin, growth and prosperity. Whatever he does, before a being taking birth, whatever happens is karma. And once the being is born, whichever body it may be, a human body or animal body, and whatever happens thenceforth, till the time of liberation, till the time of nirvana, till the time of mukti, till the time of moksha, that is karma. And that karma goes on and on and on and on from one birth to another, to another, to another, to another, till that Jivatman, through the process of Adhyatma, makes the ultimate realization, I am part of the Supreme. Once that realization comes, once that stage of liberation comes, then there is a freedom from karma. Till then, the karma continues. So, Sri Krishna in this 3rd shloka of the Akṣhara Brahma Yoga has told us 3 things. First about Brahman, second about the Adhyatma, and third about karma. Then in the next verses, of course, he is going to throw much more light on the doubts that Arjuna has asked. So that was our reading for the day of the 3rd shloka of the Akṣhara Brahma Yoga, the 8th adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.